Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is shaping up to be a beautiful day. We're going to do some gardening. We're going to transplant some of these artichokes. I'm going to show you how easy it is to do. Now, the artichokes, once you plant one plant in the ground, they do perennialize and they grow pups, little baby plants. So that's what we got over here, is a little cluster of artichokes. Now, this plant is a wonderful addition to the garden for many reasons, which I've spoke about in previous episodes, but I'll just reiterate really quickly. I love the plant for its beauty, its evergreen foliage, which survives freezing temperatures in the winter. Down to zone 5, I believe, you can grow these. And all of these leaves make a wonderful chop and drop. Chop and drop is where you simply chop some of the plant down and use it as a mulch. So you can create a lot of organic material with these plants. Now, if you've ever grown artichokes or you've seen one growing, then you know it also creates this beautiful purple, electric purple flower that attracts bees and bumblebees like crazy. So it's really good for beneficial insects to come into the garden. And it also makes a good ground cover. It shades out a large area. These leaves get larger and larger. So everyone knows that the artichoke is a wonderful vegetable to consume. It's high in vitamin C. Many of you might not know that, but it's good for building your immune system up as well. So, started with one plant in this area last year, and we've got, I think, 7 over here in a cluster. Now, if your soil is nice and loose, and there's not too much clay, you can actually just kind of wiggle and pull these out. All you need is just a little bit of root to remain on the plant for it to be viable. So usually, even when you just pull them out, you can keep some of those roots on. But what I really like to do, let me set up this camera first. Is it going to stay? There we go. What I like to do is use my Hori Hori. This has a very strong tang, I think it's called. You can dig into the hardest soils and it's not going to bend like a little spade shovel would. So we're going to get around the base of this plant. And here's just some of that natural mulch that it's just kind of created around the base as well, protecting the soil. Get down there. And I think I want to keep this one right here because it's the most centered out of the bunch. We're going to pop the rest of these out. That's loosened up. Boom. See, we got some nice roots on here. Now we can pull off the majority of these leaves. We only need to keep a couple for photosynthesis, so we'll keep the smallest leaves there. That way the plant can focus its energy on producing a new plant, not keeping all those leaves alive. So there is a perfect transplant. You can pop this in a pot, put it somewhere else in the garden, and have the same thing happen next year. Start with one plant, end up with 7. That's abundance, my friends. So I did get another load of wood chips in the garden recently, you may have noticed. This is really crucial for me back here. Otherwise, in the winter months, this will all turn to muck if I don't have some good mulch down. So it's really nice to be able to get out here even after all the rains and not even get muddy. I'm just kneeling down right into the wood chips. So by doing this, not only am I propagating new plants, but we're creating more space for the plant that we do leave here to spread out, which is going to be a more mature plant than last year was because it's the second year it's growing in this spot. And that's going to allow for more airflow, for the plant to get all the nutrients rather than have to share it with the whole bunch. And we're also creating a ton of mulch when we take all these leaves off. So again, look into the artichoke if you haven't already. It's a wonderful plant to grow. So many uses. I'm just mulching around one of my apple trees out here with these leaves. Oftentimes you can find artichoke plants for sale at your local nursery. Not so much big box stores, but actual plant nurseries. You can find them. If not, they can be grown from seed. It's just going to take a little longer to get a little patch like this developed. You can see how the sun's now really coming into this area. And right next to this artichoke patch, we've got another one of my favorite ground covers, oregano, which comes back year after year, spreads out a little further. Oh, that smells good whenever you disturb it, just like mint. Culinary herb, lots of different uses, and you can take little bunches of this out as well. And transplant that. We're just going to move another little patch of this a little further from that patch around this fruit tree here. It's a beautiful day today. Sun is shining. Beautiful cloud formations. Trees are beginning to wake up. Got a pluot there, or I think that's a plum cod actually. You can see how it's starting to bud out already. So, February 3rd today, and it has been overall a very mild winter. But I'm not going to speak too soon because February is often the month where we get some cold snaps in below freezing. We've had some serious freezes come through in the past, down to about 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's why we're not doing any seeds, direct seeding yet. All right, so you can see all the mulch. We'll chop some of the bottom leaves off of the remaining plant here. So this guy's ready to be our mature artichoke in this area. So where's a good place to plant the artichoke? Well, they like full sun. They will do good in part sun as well. But what I like to target are areas where I'm trying to create some shade, or I'm trying to create an area where I'm chopping and dropping so I don't have to move around too much. I'll just plant these right in an area where I want to do some chop and drop. Look at this patch going bonkers right next to the Peter's honey fig tree here. These fig trees back here, they struggle sometimes because it gets so much sun. So I'm going to plant a couple of these artichokes right in front of this 2-in-1 fig tree planting. We got a brown turkey and a blackjack fig, and we'll space out these artichokes about 3 feet is good. You could do about 5 feet. They have a pretty wide spread, but they do well in clusters. That's how they grow. That easy, guys. Abundant plants like this are also great for filling in dead spaces in the yard. If you're just getting going, or even if you're like me, you're 10 years into a project, you're going to have areas that still are waiting to have new plants plugged in. And while you're waiting for maybe bringing in a new variety, you can just plug in an artichoke or something like this. I've got a lot of chop and drop in this area, and an abundance of different greens we'll just pull out of the way, create a little spot to plant in. Here we go, right at the base of this pomegranate tree. Again, this area gets lots of sun. This is just going to help to keep moisture in this area by creating some shade. And depending on how you prune these, you can really keep them small if you want. You can fit it into a pretty tight space, keep it pruned. See the chickens back under the orange tree there? Their favorite place to hang out. I've got a lot more of these artichokes to transfer. I won't bore you with repetitive content here, so that's going to do it for right now. I want to thank you all for watching. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.